What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday and welcome to the Early Edge. I am the Counselor of Cash, and we have a loaded show for you today. We've got NBA picks, we've got MLB picks, we've got golf picks, of course, soccer picks with Martin Green. So let's take a look at the recap screen before we bring in the stars of the show. Certainly not what we want to see. Mikey B, 1 for 2. Kuminga getting his third assist with 3 minutes left in the game. That's not great. And let's be honest, the rest of this board is not great either. Griffin Carroll, very close on the McKinnon over. He had 4 shots on goal and a goal, but didn't get that 4.5 shots on goal. Didn't get the over there. All right, but we got to turn the page. We got to turn the page to Wednesday because we got to do better than this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in the stars of the show today. Well, you're the stars in the chat, but here on this show, we've got Hammer, Tim Doyle, we've got Mikey B, Mike McClure, and Martin Green. I do want to give a special shout out to everybody in the chat. I know Bradley Jacobs has some soccer picks to give out. CID says CBI has been paying him well ever since Larry made that CBI pick. Let's get it started with you, Tim Doyle. We speculated before you came in to this program that perhaps Mike McClure speculated that you were doing the show from your shower. Other people, Martin Green, Mikey B, suggested perhaps you're doing it from prison. We're really not sure. Where are you? Are you okay? Blink twice if this is an SOS situation.
So, thank you all for your concern. It's not an SOS situation, okay, first and foremost. But my buddy's a producer, and he called me. This was like when I was down on my luck. And he was like, hey, I would love for you to do a shower commercial. You ever see those like late at night, like the 3 a.m. commercials? And I was like, nah, man. I was like, I can't do it. I was like, what do you pay for that? He's like, $2,500. I go, I think I can do it. I'm in. So I ended up doing the shower commercial, and I had to keep saying, it's only $99 a month. So my mom saw the commercial. She goes, so what's only $99? I go, Mom, I have no idea. I was just supposed to say it's only $99 a month. So yes, I have stooped that low, Sia. So appreciate this starting off the show as a therapy session. Thank you. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome. I had no idea where that was going, and I very strongly regret opening the show in the manner that I did. I hope you're okay, Tim. I didn't mean to bring you down here. All right, listen, here's the deal. Everybody in the chat, hit the like button if you can. We got to get started because honestly, when you see the recap screen today, you're going to see probably more picks than you've seen on the Early Edge. And I'm guessing like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 weeks. So that means we got a lot of picks. That means we got to get started. So I'm no salutations to Mike McClure, Martin Green, or Mikey B, because we just got to get going. Mikey B, you've got a couple of NBA props. One that's near and dear to my heart because it's a player that's near and dear to my proximity, a Washington Wizard. We don't have to start there. Give me 2 props in the NBA tonight.
We are crashing the boards in the NBA tonight. First, we're going to do Jabari Smith Jr. over 8.5 rebounds at -125. They're playing the Thunder. Great matchup. They don't have a lot of size up front. Jabari Smith Jr. has been starting at center with Alperen Sengun out. Because the Thunder don't have much size up front, they've allowed the 7th most rebounds per game in the league. Smith has faced them 3 times already this season. In those games, he had 18, 17, and 13 rebounds. We only need 9 here, so we're going to take the over 8.5. And then we're going to go, you were talking about your Wizards, Rashawn Holmes, over 7.5 rebounds at -115. He has taken over as their starting center. Over 7 games in that role, he's averaged 10.4 rebounds per game. He's recorded at least 9 rebounds in 4 straight. He even has 3 straight games with at least 14 rebounds. He's playing the Nets. They have the 4th worst shooting percentage in the league, so that should leave him with enough opportunities to go over 7.5 rebounds. We're crashing the boards. Rebounds galore tonight in the NBA.
I absolutely love it. By the way, Mikey B, let me ask you, the Wizards, for them on quite a streak, can we pencil them in, not pen, but pencil them in to win the championship next year?
Well, we'll see. I don't want to, poo-poo and get you all too sad here. I don't want to put too much damp on there. But
wait. You have to do you do Wizard shows, Sia?
Well, I do a show for Monumental Sports Network, and they own the Wizards and the Capitals.
Oh, my goodness. Talk about me being in jail. I mean, you have to talk about that team? Oh, yeah. Out of yourself. Martin, I mean, I know you don't want over the season stuff. They're just learning basketball. But, yeah, that's that's got to be painful, Sia. It'd be like, oh, another Wizards loss. They tried really hard today. I don't want to hear it, Sia. You coming for me earlier? I'm coming for you, pal.
Truth is, we do a betting show on that network. We don't actually like cover the Wizards, but hey, listen, they're playing some good ball. Mike McClure, championship next year, Wizards, correct?
I didn't know if we were instituting something where we like relegate teams like Martin Green's world. If we relegated them to another league potentially.
Yeah, G League. Yeah,
I'm not throwing this Martin's way. This is not going the way I intended. So we're gonna move on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make futures bets on NBA teams, or if you want to make rebound bets, rebound overs, go to BetMGM. You can listen. New BetMGM customers can sign up today and get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10, and you'll receive up to $1,500 instantly if your bet loses with bonus code EDGE. That's EDGE, EDGE. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go to a little break, and then it's going to be some golf picks. We're going to have soccer and a lot more NBA, NCAA, and a little bit of MLB for tomorrow. So let's hear a message from our partners, and we'll be right back.
The blackout mystery remains.
Welcome to March Madness. Whoa! You just never know in the tournament who is going to shine.
Stream March Madness live on any device, anywhere, and be ready for anything.
All right, I'll say this about the Wizards just to save a little bit of face. They are a fun team to watch right now, and if you're not watching, I kind of get it.
That's like the friend you have, right? That's like, you know, he or she is not that good looking, but she got a great personality. Like whenever you hear that, like, you know, all of a sudden you're gonna get someone with like a club foot or something. Like that's just how it is. Like it's fine, but that's just the fact of it.
They could win the NIT.
Yeah.
I don't know why I started down this path with this crew on this show. That's completely on me. I can't blame anybody but myself. All right. Speaking of blaming myself, hopefully I'm not blaming myself tomorrow morning when we're on the early edge at 10 o'clock in the morning, because I've got a golf pick for tomorrow morning. It starts at 8:20 Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be about close to halfway through the round, or approaching halfway through the round by the time we're on this round one matchup. I've got Steven Yeager minus 122 over Taylor Montgomery. I'll keep this short and sweet. If you watch the early wedge, you know I have Steven Yeager in some markets. I have him as a first round leader. I have him in a tournament 3-ball as well. This is more of a fade, though, of Taylor Montgomery. Taylor Montgomery is one of those guys that he just basically, when he wins or when he does well, he's just storming the court with the putter. He is absolutely unbelievable with the short game sometimes, but the ball striking just really isn't there. He's also not a very long hitter, where Steven Yeager is a long hitter, typically a good ball striker, typically not very good with the putter. Put all that together, the course fit is much better for Steven Yeager here. So I'm always kind of a fade on Taylor Montgomery. If you watched me last year, you know I faded him a lot in round matchups, and it was very profitable. He's playing a little bit better this year, so it's a little bit of a watch out. That's why this line is only minus 122. But again, Steven Yeager, good course fit in my opinion, a much better course fit, good history at this course. And for whatever it's worth, when he played here the last time, he actually gained with the putter. So maybe there's something to be said for that. Give me Steven Yeager. Again, this is tomorrow morning, minus 122 over Taylor Montgomery. Really quick note, though. If you don't have this matchup at your book, message me or tweet at me, and I'll tell you if I like something that might be involved with Steven Yeager or fading Taylor Montgomery. Whatever you have, let me know, because I know not all books have this pick. All right, let's move on from golf to a little bit of soccer, Martin Green. I've kept you quiet down there, and that's on me, but you've got 2 soccer plays to talk about. So finally, Martin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sia. Yeah, 2 soccer plays. I went 2-0 on early edge last week, so hoping to keep the momentum going. Nothing today, I'm afraid, because there's no soccer taking place. So I'm looking ahead to the weekend, starting with a Serie A game between Roma and Lecce. Lecce are kind of like the Washington Wizards of Serie A, unfortunately, not doing very well this season. And I think they could struggle pretty badly against Roma in this match. Roma have been in sensational form since Daniele De Rossi replaced Jose Mourinho as manager. 3 wins and a draw from their last 4 games. They've also dominated the head-to-heads with 4 wins and 1 draw from their last 5 matches against Lecce. So I really like odds of minus 110 on an away win for Roma here. I'm also looking at a game in the English Premier League between Liverpool and Brighton. Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals has paid off in 3 of the last 4 meetings between these teams. Played out an entertaining 2-2 draw in Brighton earlier this season. I think we could witness another high-scoring clash when they renew hostilities at Anfield. So, simple bet, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at -133.
All right, 2 picks from Martin Green, including hopefully a bit of a scoring fest in the second one. All right, Tim Doyle, enough of the DC sports bashing. You have, that's interesting. You have an NBA pick, a money line pick, which we'll get into in a second. And you came to the show with a bit of a future with respect to a March Madness team that is catching a little bit of steam. And I'll just kind of, maybe I'll editorialize your pick after you give it. Maybe I'll come down on you like you came down on me, but very interested to see what you have in the NBA and in the NC2A. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Sia, for the big introduction there. I like the Magic tonight. Warriors on the second half are back-to-back. I don't like laying points because they're like -4.5. Those points to me are like, that's like purgatory. When I see that and then my team wins by 3 or 2 or 1 and I don't cover, it puts me in a bad mood, Sia. Okay. And you don't want to see me in a bad mood, especially in DC. Okay. I'm 6'6", 230 pounds. Okay. Like you don't want me in a bad mood. Okay. So that's my pick for tonight. As far as futures, I saw this team live. I actually saw them lose live and I left that game and I went, whoa, they're really good. Illinois, here's how my 2 futures. I like them to win the East region. Now, obviously, the East are going to have to go through UConn, and UConn's going to be favorite in that game. Right now, Illinois is number 1 in Ken Palm. Not that those nerd numbers matter. No offense, you guys out there, but eyeball test. Terrence Shannon's an NBA guy. Marcus Domas got a triple-double in the first game. Hawkins can shoot the 3. They're deep. They're athletic. Very good squad. Not only do they win the East, check out these odds to win it all. I had them originally losing to Kentucky. Now, that was a bad pick. So I'm going to stick with them to win the national championship. See, at 35-1, when I was at Northwestern, we played Illinois. Never beat them. And their coach, Bruce Weber, at the time said, it's not a rivalry because we kick their butt every year. Hey, Bruce, the same message I sent to Sia, I'm going to send it to you as well. But he ended up being right. They did kick our butt every year. But those are great odds, and they have pros. So give me Illinois plus 35-1 plus 3,500.
That's a really big number on Illinois. I'll give you that. Obviously plus 600, you got to take out UConn. And then of course, Iowa State first. Hey, Mike, can I ask you, I'm going to Mike McClure here. Any thoughts on, you might not have an official pick, but this Iowa State Illinois line, it opened at 2.5. Iowa State was favored by 2.5, kind of predictably, but now it's kind of been bet down to, in a lot of markets, to Tim's point, to -1. Like obviously a lot of money coming in on, or at least some sharp money coming in on Illinois. Do you have any thoughts on that particular game?
Other than I like Iowa State now, if Doyle is on the Illinois side.
I get that.
Other than that, no, it's going to be a fascinating matchup, really, to be honest with you. I agree with Tim in the sense that out of all the teams in UConn's path, Illinois is the team that can be dangerous in one single game. Like they have the athletes, if they can stay out of foul trouble and knock down shots, they can hang with UConn at times. I would make the spread in that game UConn -4. I think the market will probably still have it at 5 or more if it gets there. I think it's tough for Iowa State and Illinois, though. I think this game is actually a coin flip here. Iowa State, they go through these stretches offensively where they simply can't score. That probably isn't going to work here. But if they have just an average game offensively, but still play their tough defense and that slow pace, it's going to come down to who hits free throws, who hits the big 3. Should be that one possession game. So it's going to be competitive. But if Illinois does get through this, I do think Illinois is the most dangerous team to UConn the rest of the way.
Did you see how hard that was for him, Sia? It was like painful for him to agree with me. Like his outfit is the exact one I wore to sleep, and then I woke up and then I put on my work clothes. But we're just happy McClure is here today doing the show. But yes, it was fun to watch him agree with me. It was like with my wife when I'm right and she's wrong. I felt that moment right there, McClure. So Sia, take it away.
You know what I felt is when you said the nerd comment and you were basically somehow looking at all 4 of us, me, Mikey B, Mike McClure, and Martin Green, we absolutely knew what you were doing. You weren't referring to the chat or anybody else. You were somehow looking into each of our eyes when you said that. So I really appreciate that. By the way, a couple golf picks before we get a couple more SportsLine picks, and then a pick from Mike McClure, which Mike Big Cheesy might be on that pick. Big Cheesy has been in the chat and mentioned something about a certain MLB team on opening day. But there was a question about a 2-ball with Ryan Fox over Taylor Montgomery at +110. I assume that's a round matchup. The problem with Ryan Fox is he's been all over the place lately. He's actually a really good course fit, and he should be okay here, but the ball striking's just been too bad. So that would be a stay away from me. And then somebody else had my matchup, but in a Stephen Yeager over Mackenzie Hughes in a tournament 72-hole matchup. I would lean that way. I would lean to Stephen Yeager over Mackenzie Hughes. So I like that find as a tournament 4-round matchup. All right. We got to get to our SportsLine picks. We've got an NHL pick. We've got an NIT pick for tonight. And then we got to kick it to Mike McClure. But before we do that, one quick message from our partners.
The best couch potatoes come from Pluto TV country.
And these taters, they like all sorts of different things.
Survivor Channel, Ink Master Channel.
If it's got a spaceship in it, I'm probably watching it.
3 channels dedicated to CSI.
Whatever mood you're in, it's going to be easy watching.
We are back on the Early Edge presented by BetMGM. A couple of SportsLine picks. If you're a SportsLine member, you've already seen these. One in the NIT. We've got a dog, UNLV +4.5. They play Seton Hall tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll be perfectly candid. I had North Texas against Seton Hall. I put that pick into SportsLine on Saturday, and North Texas lost the game to Seton Hall. But UNLV, this is one I was actually looking at to potentially make a play on for this show. I wanted to play Seton Hall, and I couldn't justify it at all because UNLV +4.5 looked too good to me. So certainly not my official pick, but this is where I would have leaned as well. So take that for what it's worth. Somebody who faded Seton Hall just a few days ago. UNLV +4.5. I do like this pick. And again, just keep in mind these NIT games, until they get to the semifinals, which is the next round, they are on the home court of the team that's favored effectively, which is Seton Hall in this case. So Seton Hall hosting UNLV in their kind of small gymnasium. It's a pretty raucous, interesting environment there. But UNLV been pretty good on the road. Like them +4.5. And then the next pick is NHL. Sabres money line -135 against the Senators. This one also at 7 o'clock. Again, this is a SportsLine pick. Sabres money line -135. We move on to Mike McClure. Now, Mike, we've got Major League Baseball opening day tomorrow. We've got a team that you like tomorrow that if you all in the chat remember, when I started getting going on the first fives, there was one team in particular that seemed to cash for us every single time. Even when we were down like 7-1 in the third inning, somehow this team would come back and be up 8-7 at the end of 5. I don't know if that's going to happen again this year. I don't know who the first 5 darling is going to be this year quite yet. But Mike McClure, talk to us about the team that you like on opening day.
Yes, yeah, I like both of these teams throughout the rest of the season. I'm very high on both of them overall, but I think the price point on the Texas Rangers on opening day at home, I think it's too good to ignore here. So I have them -127, and that's making some pretty strong assumptions on the Cubs side with Justin Steele, a phenomenal starting pitcher, a guy that I really like a lot personally. But I've made some really aggressive adjustments up on him to make his numbers even better. And I'm still getting the Rangers at -127, which is 56%. You can find this -115 here. When you look at this Rangers team, they were great last season in all situations, but really good against left-handed pitching. One of the top 5 teams in weighted on base average against lefties, but they were also able to draw walks. Number 1 team in Major League Baseball walking against left-handed pitching. I think they're going to put runners on base here. I also think Nathan Eovaldi is someone we have to talk about. The ground ball rate is phenomenal. The hard contact looks really good as well at this point in his career. Just an absolute machine. I like Eovaldi to have a quality start here, and I like the Rangers' offense to get it done. I'll lay the -115 here on the money line. I expect it to close at least -125 by first pitch tomorrow night.
All right, and we've got a lot of people in the chat talking about first fives that they like tomorrow as well. So Texas is certainly going to be on my radar. We have Japan giving out K props as well. We've got Chris Kish giving out golf plays. Padraig Harrington at +300, top 40. Certainly an interesting one. And then Cameron Moore, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He said they spoke about the 76ers in 2013, the same way they spoke about the Wizards in 2023. Rome wasn't built in a day. Tim, your response? Just kidding. Let me see the recap screen. I don't want any response to that. Good job, Cameron Moore. Martin Green, he's got Roma money line -110 and Liverpool, Brighton, both teams to score and over 2.5 at -133. I've got Houston Open round 1 play. This is 8:20 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning before the early edge starts. It's Jaeger -122 over Taylor Montgomery. Mike McClure tomorrow, Rangers money line -115. Tonight, we've got Mikey B with 2 props. Jabari Smith Jr. over 8.5 rebounds -125 and Rashawn Holmes over 7.5 rebounds -115. Tim Doyle, Magic money line -165 against the Warriors on a back-to-back. And a couple of futures, Illinois to win the East region at +600 and Illinois to win the national championship at a whopping +3,500. SportsLine picks for tonight. UNLV +4.5 at 7 o'clock against Seton Hall and the Sabres money line -135. Wow. By the way, Danny Brasco in the chat as well. We've got all kinds of celebrities. Tim, I do want to give you the final word. I didn't want to necessarily cut you off, although I don't want you to respond necessarily to what I just read, but I thought you might have had something to say, and I don't want to leave the show with you not being able to say it.
First of all, when McClure talks about baseball, I mean, my left nipple was so it could cut glass. That's how excited I got to talk about Nathan Eovaldi, because I think baseball, the clock changed the game. Okay, and I want to keep my job, but yes, I love when McClure talks baseball. I know he's off for a week. Mike, where are you going? Because I know you just threw some picks out there and you're like, I'm gone for a week. Where are we going together? Can I come?
Nah, we'll keep that information private. But yeah, just off for a couple days. That's it. I'm off the show for 7 days. I won't be out all that much.
Okay, yeah, I feel like McClure, he's that guy that goes to the Cayman Islands. I don't know what goes on in the Cayman Islands. I don't know why movies are based there, but everyone who does they go to the Cayman. So I'm sure he's going to the Cayman Islands for a few days, count his money or something like that.
The guy doing the show from prison is certainly very jealous of that. All right, it's time to get out of here. On behalf of Mikey B, Martin Green, Mike McClure, Tim Doyle, and Jake the Snake on the 1s and 2s. What a show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope we have a better recap screen today than we did yesterday. Let's try to have a great Wednesday. We've got golf tomorrow. We've got MLB opening day tomorrow, NBA, NHL playoffs coming right up. We've got so much to talk about, and we'll do it again with you tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning and every day thereafter. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. My name is Sia Nejad, otherwise known as The Counselor. This is The Early Edge. We rest our case.